So today's progress. Walker, shut up. We got all of our trim boards up in here. Those are 1/4 inch fiber cement. For some reason, this was a little bit tight fit, and as I was pounding it in, those broke, but that's no big deal. That's actually going to get covered up by crown molding, so you're not even going to see that. So we put that all the way around here on the inside to have a nice smooth finish and cover up that beam. And then I also, which yesterday I put these boards up. These are 1x8s on the flat. And then what we did is we just kind of mitered this, and I actually ripped this one down, ripped about 1 inch off of it, because there's no sheathing on the front side of this, but as you can see there is sheathing, so there's a gap. I'm gonna trim that out once we put the screens up and put some trim over it so you won't be able to see that. I put the 1x8 across the middle here to cover up the seam. And then I started on the railings today, so I put these posts in the center. Our screen doors will be right here. I'm probably going to do double screen doors, like 48-inch double doors right here. And then we've got a railing going in here. I've got these estate decorator pickets. I'll start working on those tomorrow to match the rest of the deck. And those will go in here, go all the way around. Just have a temporary railing set up right now on the bottom. But this top railing is permanent, and that's how it's going to go. Yes, sir. Okay, and then I reused these old posts from the old deck and put them in the center, because you can't go more than 72 inches without a guard post. These are obviously guard posts, but here I've got these, and then these will be bolted with carriage bolts into the side of the beam here. And then I did the same over there, although that's only 73 inches from there to there. So I probably could have just not even done that, but I'd already added one. That's actually the original one there. It's about 1 inch off of center of where it's supposed to be, but I didn't even bother moving it. So I put another one in there just to make it balanced. We have another one here. And then what we'll probably end up doing is putting the screens in on the inside, just to make it easier, because hanging out off the deck is going to be difficult. So we got all these in. We did a 2x4 here, pressure treated 2x4, and then a 2x6 on the flat. And this is 36 inches high per code. And again, we'll have those black decorator pickets there, the black aluminum pickets, to cover everything up. And then I just actually nailed I didn't have a 2x6, so I actually ripped a 2x8 down. I had an extra 2x8, so I ripped that down to 5.5 inches and put that there and nailed it up against the house. It's actually nailed into the king stud from the window there, so it's nice and solid. So again, tomorrow we'll work on the decorator pickets, put those all around, and then I need to put crown molding on the inside here, and then I need to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get some molding to put up here in this, they call it bed molding. I need to get some of that to put in there. So progress, making progress. So there she is from the outside and with the lights on, and it's kind of getting dark. It's about 8 o'clock now, so it's looking good. Again, the metal roof is done. And then I need to also get a gutter. I'm gonna have to make it's an 18-foot long gutter, so I'm gonna have to make one or piece one together. Maybe I'll call my seamless gutter guy that I've used before and see if he'll do one. I doubt he'll do just that one gutter. I doubt he'll do that, but we'll see. So I'll check with him and see, but making progress. So today's progress, didn't make a ton of progress today. Doing these railings is very time consuming and tedious. And so what I'm doing to close up that, originally I had 2x4s here, and then I was like, oh crap, I need something to cover up the full gap so we don't have a gap underneath. And then I went to got some 2x6s and started working with those, and then I realized, wait a second, I've got to be able to slide these in and then slide these up, because there's these little, the way these decorator pickets work is you have these little clips, and they screw in to the bottom there, and then you screw one in there, and then the picket slides down over top of them. Okay, so the way I'm doing it is I've got a story pole where I can mark all my marks. My story pole's right over there, and it marks all my marks. And then, oops, I was zoomed in there. So with my story pole, it marks all my marks, and then I can put the little brackets where they need to go. But what I have to do is I actually have to leave this a little bit shorter, and I ended up having to rip the 2x6s down to 4 inches wide, and which I could have just used a 3.5 inch, just could use a 2x4 to begin with, because it's got to be able to go down enough to go underneath and slide up. And then I just use basically a pry bar, and I stick it underneath, and I push these two pieces together, and then I put my screws in to hold it tight so that they're nice and tight. They'll loosen up a little bit because this wood's going to shrink a little bit, because wood shrinks across the grain, not with the grain. So this wood will shrink just a little bit, and these gaps will open up just a little bit, because they did on our other railing, but not enough where they're ever going to fall out or anything like that. So we did get that railing in, and we got all the way to here. So tomorrow I've got to do the rest of this area here. And then I've got a bunch of 2x4s, and we're going to put blocking in. I'm going to rip them down to 1.5 inches, so I'll basically make them 2x2s, and they will picture frame this whole opening here, and the screens will attach to those 2x blocking. And then we'll also attach a screen on the inside here to that 2x blocking as well. So that's the plan. I was trying to put the screens on from the outside, but I'm going to have to cut around these poles, and it'd be a pain in the butt. I think I'll just deal with the fact that I might get a little bit of debris in here, and we'll get creative on how to clean it out of there. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If it's once a year that I have to clean it out, so be it. But that's the plan. So we're working our way across here and putting everything up. So a story pole. If you've ever heard of that term before, basically just a scrap piece of wood. And when you've got to make multiple repetitive marks, like I do, to mark all of the lines to put these, you have to put these little brackets in place there for these decorator pickets. They're basically every 4.5 inches. I marked on a scrap piece of wood here my 4.5 inch marks all the way across. And all I do is take it and I clamp it up here to the bottom of this board, and then I'll do the same to the bottom board there, as you can see where I've got all those marked. I screwed up my marks there for some reason. I got out of whack. I don't know what happened, but I had to go back and remark them. Measure twice, cut once, right? So I'll use that, and I'll stick this to the side of the bottom board and mark all those. That way all my pickets are the same distance all the way across, and it looks normal. So use a story pole if you're ever marking anything, and that'll tell you where all of your pieces need to be, so you're not constantly using the measuring tape. So I'll just use this, and I'll stick my speed square up under here, line it up with that, make a mark, and just work my way across, and then I'm done. All right, so I didn't do an update video last night. I did do the crown molding video. You see, we installed the crown on the inside. I had to kind of notch it to go around this piece of trim in the middle here. And so got the crown going around. My miters are pretty good. I mean, that's all totally caulkable. A little bit open at the top, but that's all right. So yesterday I framed out the opening for the screen door. I was going to do a 48-inch screen door, and then everyone was telling me, no, just do one screen door. So I went with a 36-inch. Then I framed it out, and then we'll have this weird screened section next to it. I thought about putting another 6x6 there, but then you still have a gap on the side. So it's like, I don't know. I still have to trim this out with these scrap blocks just to have something to attach the screen to. And then trim this top portion out for the screen to attach to. But I will get to that. And so right now I'm working on putting in the bed molding, which is this kind of little miniature crown here. I put it in up here, right there, and then I've got just a piece in, a piece there, and then built myself another platform of death here off the side to walk on. So I've got a walk board out here. This is a 2x8. This thing's actually very sturdy. So just so I can stand out here and put that trim piece on. So I've got that one nailed up. Gotta do the other one, and then while I've got this out here, I'll go ahead and caulk all this stuff on the outside, get it all caulked up and everything. So I got that, and then yesterday I nailed my knee bracing on all the way across, and now I just have to drill it out and through bolt it with some carriage bolts. And then I've got to go underneath, and where we remove some of the railings before, I got to change out some. I got to put some hangers in place. What?
My eyes are good.
What?
My eyes are good.
Your eyes are good? Did you eat your carrots?
Yeah.
Good job. So I got to go under and rehang put some hangers on some of the old joists, because they had actually not put hangers on a few of them because there was a post next to it and some special bracketry to bolt the post in. So now that stuff's gone, I think there's like probably 4 or 5 hangers I've got to put on and put those hangers in place. No big deal. And yeah, so all the railings in all the way around. We did the black decorator pickets is what they're called, and trimmed out the inside. Now comes the fun part of caulking and painting everything, which I do not look forward to. I hate painting. It's probably one of my things I despise the most. So that's the status of this. So coming along.
Not me live alone. We'll hang out. No?
A minute and talk about pole sanders. You know, Festool, who makes awesome tools, makes a really fancy pole sander. Who needs that crap when you can make your own pole sander? I've got my little Bosch. Finally painting the siding. Got the siding paint done there. Wow. Ceiling is painted with 2 coats. Well, we got the fan today, but I guess they just forgot to put the package of hardware in the box. Really, the only hardware that I need are the little screws for the fan blades to attach. And I've got one here that matches the size, so I'm just gonna go to Ace Hardware and buy a bunch of these. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3 is 15. I need 15 of them and some rubber washers for them, and I'll just go buy some at the store and and go ahead and install them rather than waiting on them, because literally I don't need any of the other hardware. The screws for the light kit are there, the other screws are there. I just got to go get some of these. So I called in a ticket to Home Depot or whatever. We got this Home Decorators Collection Portwood LED fan. I had to order it online because they don't really stock it in any of the stores. But it's a 60-inch fan, and it supposedly moves 9,700 CFMs of air, which is a lot of air. Yeah, here we go. So on high, it moves 9,700 CFMs of air. Like some of the other fans that were out there were only moving like 5,000 to 6,000 CFMs. So this one supposedly moved a lot of air. Based on the reviews too, I read online, everyone says it moves a lot of air, which for a porch, that's what you need. You want one that moves a lot of air, so when you're out here in the middle of August when it's hot as sin, you can do that. I got my outdoor speakers here too, my in-ceiling mount ones. Got these off Amazon. They're OSD, which is Outdoor Speaker Depot Audio. Give these a try. It was like 80 bucks for the pair. So I'll take those speakers down and install these guys in their spot. I've got the template here. I've got to mark and then cut with the jigsaw. So I will do that here in a little bit. I'm about to go run to Ace Hardware and get some screws for this. And hopefully we can get this fan operational. Yesterday we primed all of the railings and everything. So all the railings are all primed, and now I just need to actually come back and caulk. I wasn't gonna caulk, but now that I primed, I think I'm gonna come back and caulk all these seams and stuff in here, which shouldn't take me that long, because they're just long runs of caulk. So I'm gonna caulk all that, and then I will do the paint. So we are nearing the finish line. Once all of this is painted on the inside, I can actually put all of the screens up, and then I'll, once we're done with that, we'll work on the floor. I've got to go get to Sherwin-Williams and get some stain for the floor. I don't know what color we're going to do yet, so I need to go get some color samples from Sherwin-Williams and test them out. We're going to do a solid color stain because I've got to basically match the old and the new so that it all looks the same. So I'll do a solid color stain instead, and that should blend the boards together and make them all the same color. So that's where we're at.